We're getting to the story of a huge blow to the Congress party. Kapil Sibal has filed nomination for Rajya Sabha from Samajwadi Party. Akhilesh Yadav and Ram Gopal Yadav are present alongside Kapil Sibal, a veteran Congress leader who's been an MP with the Congress party. He's also been a sitting minister in UPA 1 and 2, has quit the Congress and joined the Samajwadi Party. Remember, he's been extremely vocal about a leadership change within the Congress party, talking about the need for a new face, a non-Gandhi to lead the party. He's been extremely vocal about this. Today, he's filing a Rajya Sabha nomination on a Samajwadi Party ticket. Kapil Sibal has joined the Samajwadi Party. He's emerging as the member fielded by the Samajwadi Party to go to the House of Elders, to the upper house. He's quit the Congress party and joined the Samajwadi Party. This comes at a time when there have been series of leaders who've been associated with the Congress party for decades together, who've left the Congress. He's a Congress heavyweight, undoubtedly. He's lost the previous election in 2014 where he was contesting from Delhi's Chandni Chowk. He's also been a member of parliament in the past, also a sitting minister in UPA 1 and 2. Very recently, Kapil Sibal was in fact extremely vocal about his thoughts about leadership change within the Congress party, talking about the need for a non-Gandhi to lead the Congress. Abhishek Mishra has more details on that. The Samajwadi Party has in fact given this seat, offered this seat and are sending Kapil Sibal to Rajya Sabha. Undoubtedly a setback to the Congress party.
Well, certainly we can say that, this nomination has come up as an advantage for Kapil Sibal because the numbers Congress party has in Uttar Pradesh is not valid enough. There's only 2 MLAs, and without the support of any other partner, it was not possible for Kapil Sibal.
Okay, we'll just go back to Abhishek in a bit from now, but we have pictures now of Sibal filing Rajya Sabha nomination on a Samajwadi Party ticket. Undoubtedly, it's a huge setback. Sibal is a leader who's been associated with the Congress party for decades together. He's been a sitting member of parliament, not for the moment though. He lost his Lok Sabha seat from Chandni Chowk. Previously, he's also been a minister in both UPA 1 and 2. He's been fairly vocal when it comes to a leadership change in the Congress party, talking about the need to have a non-Gandhi at the helm of affairs. He also skipped the all-important Congress Shivir in Rajasthan. And that led to a lot of speculation on what next for the veteran Congress leader. This comes at a time when there have been many leaders, some of them associated with the Congress party for decades together, leaving the Congress, both young and new. Sunil Jakar, for example, has been the last one before Sibal to quit the Congress and move to the BJP. We have Kapil Sibal now quitting the Congress and in fact winning a ticket for Rajya Sabha from the Samajwadi Party. He's filed the nomination on the Samajwadi Party ticket. Abhishek continues to be with us. Abhishek, you were telling us about the Samajwadi Party sending Kapil Sibal to Rajya Sabha. Abhishek, if you can hear me, I was asking you how the Samajwadi Party has chosen to send Kapil Sibal to Rajya Sabha. Okay, we'll just try and go back to Abhishek Mishra in a bit from now. But remember, Sibal is getting support from the Samajwadi Party. This was being speculated. And now Samajwadi Party has chosen to send Kapil Sibal to Rajya Sabha from its own quota essentially.
राज्यसभा में जा रहे हैं, पहला नॉमिनेशन हुआ है। इस तरह पार्टी की तरफ से 2 और जा सकते हैं बहुत जल्दी उनका भी नॉमिनेशन हो जाएगा।
कपिल सिब्बल जी के आने से किस तरीके से देखते हैं, क्या कितना
कपिल
फर्क
सिब्बल
पड़ेगा?
जी वरिष्ठ अधिवक्ता रहे हैं, देश के जाने माने केसेस उन्होंने लड़े हैं। वो लोकसभा में रहे हों, राज्यसभा में रहे हों, उन्होंने बात को अच्छी तरह रखा है ढंग से। पॉलिटिकल कैरियर भी है उनके पास, एज ए लॉयर बहुत सक्सेसफुल लॉयर हैं। तो हमें उम्मीद है कि देश में जो बड़े बड़े सवाल हैं आज देश किस रास्ते पर है। आज बेरोजगारी सबसे ज़्यादा है, महंगाई रुक नहीं रही है, कानून व्यवस्था ध्वस्त होती चली जा रही है, हमारी सीमाएं सुरक्षित नहीं हैं, चीन लगातार हमारी सीमाओं के अंदर आ रहा है। तो इन तमाम बड़े बड़े सवालों पर मुझे लगता है कपिल सिब्बल जी समाजवादी पार्टी और अपने विचारों को रख पाएंगे।
अब ये जो 2 नाम और हैं बचे हुए हैं, जो
बहुत जल्दी नाम घोषित हो जाएंगे, बहुत जल्दी नाम घोषित हो जाएंगे।
थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू सो मच। अभी सर कल भी ना
All right, that's Akhilesh Yadav. Now, with polls scheduled for 11 Rajya Sabha seats from Uttar Pradesh out, it appears that Kapil Sibal, likely to be fielded by the Samajwadi Party, comes as a huge jolt for the Congress Party, undoubtedly, if this is confirmed. Of course, this is a confirmation that's needed on this. Kapil Sibal likely to be fielded by the Samajwadi Party for the Rajya Sabha. In fact, we heard Akhilesh Yadav just speak. Kapil Sibal there files a nomination for the Rajya Sabha from the SP, Akhilesh and Ram Gopal present alongside. So this confirmation needs to come from Kapil Sibal himself. Has he bid adieu to the Congress Party? The confirmation needs to come from him. But clearly here, a big message sent out as Kapil Sibal files his nomination as part of the SP, the Samajwadi Party from Uttar Pradesh. Akhilesh Yadav also accompanying Kapil Sibal, a very old party member. Kapil Sibal has been often a critique of the Gandhis, literally floated the G-23, where a bunch of senior Congress leaders were quite apprehensive with the Congress's prospects and with the way the organization has been functioning ever since the BJP came to power. In fact, here Kapil Sibal has time and again hit out at the Gandhis for not making stern decisions, not making organizational changes, for not appointing the right person to lead the party. According to him, the Gandhis aren't it. Here is Kapil Sibal, after much of the revolt within the Congress party itself, seems like he's finally made his way out. Kapil Sibal now decides to possibly join the SP because he's now already filed his nomination for the Rajya Sabha from the SP, but no formal declaration coming in from Kapil Sibal as yet. So far, we've heard Akhilesh Yadav. He was, in fact, accompanying Kapil Sibal while he filed the nomination for the Rajya Sabha. This is undoubtedly a huge jolt. You also see a few leaders in the past, like Hardik, who just quit the Congress ahead of polls in Gujarat, a big Patidar face within the state of Gujarat, a big Congress face undoubtedly. He left the party right amid...
Therefore, abide by the discipline of those parties. But I think it is important to be an independent voice. और मैं समझता हूँ कि जब एक निर्दलीय की आवाज़ उठेगी तो वो लोगों को फिर ऐसा लगेगा कि किसी पार्टी से जुड़े हुए नहीं हैं, लेकिन देखिए हम विपक्ष में रह के हम एक गठबंधन बनाना चाहते हैं, सभी का गठबंधन, ताकि हम मोदी सरकार का विरोध करें। हम चाहते हैं कि 2024 में एक ऐसा माहौल बने हिंदुस्तान में कि मोदी सरकार की जो खामियां हैं वो जनता तक पहुंचाई जाएं और हम इसका प्रयास करेंगे। मैं खुद इसमें अपना इसका प्रयास करूंगा। मैंने दे दिया है 16 मई को मैंने कांग्रेस पार्टी से त्याग पत्र दे दिया है। 16 मई को मैंने त्याग पत्र दे दिया। क्या
आजम खान और अखिलेश जी की अब तक मुलाकात नहीं।
अरे भैया आप देखिए, मैं यहाँ आया हूँ, ये सवाल अब हमसे काहे को पूछ रहे हैं? समर्थन सभी ने मुझको दिया है, सारी उत्तर प्रदेश में जो यहाँ दल है उसमें समर्थन मुझे मिला है।
उत्तर प्रदेश की कितनी आवाज हम कह सकते हैं राज्यसभा में? देखिए,
आपको मालूम है कि मेरी राज्यसभा में आवाज उठती थी, तभी भी मैं उत्तर प्रदेश का प्रत्याशी था, पिछली बार भी उत्तर प्रदेश का प्रत्याशी था।
Kapil Sibal, Congress heavyweight, now decides to dump the Congress, formally joins the SP as he files his nomination as part of the SP for Rajya Sabha. This is, remember, the Samajwadi Party pushing for 3 of their candidates to file the Rajya Sabha nomination, and one of them, it appears, they've batted for Kapil Sibal, who's a staunch, tall Congress leader so long, seems to have now dumped the Gandhis. After much of the dissent within the party itself, Kapil Sibal time and again pointing fingers at the Gandhis for not trying fixing the fissures within the grand old party. Now finally seems like he's decided to dump the Congress and join the SP. He's already filed his nomination as an SP candidate for the Rajya Sabha. Let me cut across to Abhishek Mishra joining us for more details on that. Abhishek, certainly not expected. Kapil Sibal, we know, has been constantly a critique for the Congress party. He floated the G-23, gathered all the senior leaders of the Congress who were very unhappy with the Gandhis and the way the grand old party was functioning. And now, without any alert or information, Kapil Sibal files nomination as an SP candidate for the Rajya Sabha. A huge blow to the Congress indeed. We're going to try and patch Abhishek on that, but Kapil Sibal now filing his nomination as part of the Samajwadi Party. This certainly comes as a big blow to the Congress party. Kapil Sibal has been the man fronting the G-23, time and again has pointed out the fissures and the kind of unorganized way of functioning that he accuses the Congress party of. He's in fact always said that the Gandhis have not been able to lead the party in the right direction. And considering that he's been a vocal critique of the Congress party, was no surprises that Kapil Sibal would one day possibly bid adieu, and now it seems like finally the decision has been made. He's filed his nomination as a Samajwadi Party Rajya Sabha candidate. Let me cut across to Shiv Arur joining us for more on that. Shiv, Kapil Sibal, the man who floated the G-23, a vocal critique of the Congress party, has now decided to call it quits from the Congress. Goes right ahead, files his nomination as an SP candidate for the Rajya Sabha.
You know, this is only the latest in a series of bolts from the blue for the Congress party. In many ways, Kapil Sibal's disgruntlement and discontent has been the most explicit, as part of this separatist G-23 faction. But Kapil Sibal actually making that move, Nabila, stepping out of the Congress and filing his nomination, with the Samajwadi Party is a huge blow to the Congress party. They won't see it as a huge blow materially speaking, because let's face it, Kapil Sibal is an old, washed-out leader. He's not a mass leader by any stretch of imagination, but he is a prominent face. He's been a former loyalist. He's been a former union minister and a very, high-profile, recognizable face of the old guard of the Congress party. So my sense is that the Congress party is not going to, pay very much attention to this. But obviously, it does look bad. You've had Hardik Patel leave. You've had Sunil Jakar leave. In their wake, you've had a lot of other people leaving before that as well, all high profile. And Kapil Sibal is a big heavyweight Congress leader. Old loyalist, old guard, former union minister, someone who was seen to be close to the Gandhis at one point of time, but in the last couple of years has been the face of the disgruntled rebel faction, which is identified as the G-23. So this definitely harms the Congress. It is very much a manifestation of the continuing sort of tatters in which the Congress finds itself. Rahul Gandhi sitting in London and waxing eloquent about India that is on fire. There are constitutional problems. While that is a separate issue altogether, let's remember that the Congress has just held an extensive Chintan Shibir in Udaipur, where they were supposed to consolidate and get their flock together and present a united front. And the fact that Kapil Sibal was the only person who was conspicuous by his absence over there, even while the rest of the G-23 made their presence felt in the front rows of that Chintan Shibir, Nabila, makes this exit by Kapil Sibal even more conspicuous and even more damaging than it is electorally. Because let's face it, electorally speaking, it doesn't really matter much. Kapil Sibal was a Lok Sabha MP a long time ago. He's lost a lot of his political vitality in terms of being any kind of a appeal for voters, especially of the new generation. So my sense is the Yuva faction of the Congress party or the Rahul Congress, won't make a big deal out of Kapil Sibal leaving. They'll probably say this is, dead weight that has exited the party. But the fact high-profile face has chosen to exit so soon after the Chintan Shibir just shows that the G-23 hasn't managed to do very much. Questions should also be asked about whether the presence of the G-23, of which Kapil Sibal was a part, entrenched itself in that Chintan Shibir, basically signaled to Kapil Sibal that, he had gone out on a limb too much. He'd shown too many of his cards, against the Gandhis, and therefore he had no real option left but to make an exit in this manner.
Right. Shiv, from what we see, Kapil Sibal has so long been organizing dinner parties. He's in fact hosted several events at his home independently of the Gandhis, have not invited them, but invited all the Congress rebels. So he's the man who led the delegation of the G-23, who's constantly criticized the Congress party, has pointed fingers at how the party is
independent.
आपने बताया कि आपने इस्तीफा दे दिया है, आपने इस्तीफा दे दिया है कांग्रेस पार्टी से?
दिया 16 मई को मैंने इस्तीफा दे दिया।
तो इंडिपेंडेंट तौर पर समाजवादी पार्टी की सदस्यता लेंगे?
अरे भैया जब बोल दिया कि दोबारा बोले एक
आप
दोहराए जो बात
आजम खान साहब को बाहर लाने में आपने जो मदद की उसको लेकर के काफी कृतज्ञता जताई है आजम खान। साफ तौर पर कपिल सिब्बल जिन्होंने इस वक्त नामांकन दाखिल कर दिया है, इंडिपेंडेंट कैंडिडेट के तौर पे नामांकन है, समाजवादी पार्टी से अभी फिलहाल सदस्यता नहीं ली है, लेकिन कांग्रेस पार्टी से इस्तीफा दे दिया है और उत्तर प्रदेश के रास्ते अब वो एक स्वतंत्र तौर पर प्रत्याशी के तौर पर राज्यसभा जाने की तैयारी में है। लखनऊ से कैमरामैन रोहित के साथ